dish, hand me the bat. Put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag. Cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mat like ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel. I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real. But how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Hey guys, how you going? I want to thank whoever bought me a coffee. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. What else do I have to say? Oh yes, if you hear a noise in the background, that's my computer. I didn't make a video yesterday either because I had a headache from Sunday afternoon through till last night. Okay, so let's get on with this. Okay, is there anything else I had to mention? Someone bought me a coffee, thank you. My computer, that. This is the third time I've tried to make this video and kept leaving things out. Everyone who is mentioned in this video is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. All that stuff, disclaimers and all that, you know. Okay, hopefully during this one I won't remember something else I had to tell you. Oh yeah, no, I know what else it is. There is a concerted effort right now to push fear campaigns everywhere. We're being told about, you know, look, they're going to poison the meat, then you won't be able to buy the meat. They're doing this because they know their time is short. So they're pushing everything they've got because Trump gets inaugurated in January. So they're pushing as hard as they can right now to scare everyone. Don't give in to the fear. Just know what it is and don't listen to stupid rules. That's all I can say. Black semi-fascist said, reporter, what is the total cost of the renewables rollout? Is it over $1 trillion? Miles goes, oh, you can pick out figures over a particular time frame, but the cost that matters to people. And the reporter asks, you don't know the total cost? Miles goes, well,
So what's the cost of the total renewables rollout?
Well, what we're seeing with renewables is, and this is the big difference today, Pete, compared to where we were at a decade or 15 years ago, is that the cheapest form of energy in the system is renewable energy. And we are seeing an uptake in renewable energy, which is really significant since we've come to power, 25% more renewables in the grid. And that has seen a significant reduction.
Yeah, but what's the total cost?
Wholesale energy price. Well, the answer to the question around price is that we've seen a dramatic drop in the wholesale energy price as a result of seeing more renewables into the grid. And
but is it over $1 trillion? Is it over $1 trillion?
Well, I mean, you can pick out figures over particular periods of time. The costs that matter to households is that the wholesale electricity price today is actually a fraction of what it was when we came into government, and in the same period of...
Bullshit. And why are we paying more for electricity if it's cheaper, you... Ooh. I am so paid off right now. I hope you can tell.
time, we've seen a massive uptake in renewable energy.
You don't know the total cost?
Well, what we know is that energy prices, wholesale energy prices are going down by virtue of renewables being in the grid.
Ask you what your policies are going to cost, and until now we don't have an answer. Do you have an answer?
Because that is such a dumb question to say, what does it cost without looking at the cost of inaction? You can't have a debate about climate change without talking about the cost of inaction. This is a fundamentally dishonest debate. It's not you or the...
Yeah, we know it is by you, mate. Oh, the cost of inaction. Can you put a cost on that then? Can you cost what you're spending now? Can you cost what renewables are going to cost? Because it doesn't look like they've done that. They're just pouring money and more taxpayer money into an empty hole by the look of it. And meanwhile, our electricity prices are through the roof.
The people asking the questions, it's what the government's saying. It is so dishonest. You all recognise a scare campaign when you see one. There is no one mythical figure The point about it is that we either tackle climate change or we don't. And the problem with answering your question is simply this. Your question makes no allowance for the impact of climate change. This issue about give us one number, I don't think that's possible to do. What we need to do is understand that if you want to stop polluting the environment, you do have to spend some money.
These people are stupid,
So
man.
what's the cost of the total?
These people are absolutely... I've got to take my own advice. Don't give in to it. I'm getting angry. I should not get angry. But I am. I'm angry. They're pissing me off, man. Okay. Anywho, they have but a short time to do all this, so they're going to go really hard, and this is ridiculous, seriously. Did you see the obfuscation in the dancing around the questions? Oh, no. What about the question of inaction, climate change? I'm sick of hearing about it. You know what? If everyone bought one of those Blue Eddy or those power bank things and ran their homes with them, it might cost you $20,000, but if everyone ran their homes with them, you wouldn't be connected to the grid anymore, and you know what would happen? They'd all go bloody broke, including the people who have shares in the green energy sector. And I heard, actually, my ex was telling me that they have the small nuclear devices that can run whole cities. So it's coming, guys. I heard about that years ago. Pizza Pepe said the whole disease corrupt temple is coming down. It's going to be biblical. It is. It's peeing me off in the meantime, though. Sorry, guys. I've got a sore back and I've had a headache for 2 days, so I'm really peed off. Oh, my goodness. Australians versus the agenda said, how about no? Logos Veritas said, Rabbi Gabby Coltman says we need a COVID-like response to anti-Semitism. Does that mean constitution-breaking mandates, lockdowns, vaccinations and tyranny? Lol, what? Look, this anti-Semitism, this racism, this isms, right? They're pissing me off as well. Nothing shows me that you want to shut everybody up more than trying to do things like this. Okay? And that makes me very suspicious of you, mate. Let me tell you. No. If you want to do that, go to Israel and do it. Don't do it here. I'm sick of it. I'm getting cranky. I could still laugh. If I didn't, I'd be crying. Miss Madeline said, somewhat coinciding with the Bovea scandal, the CSIRO here in Australia, which is a government arm, have launched a new research campaign asking Australians to chart your fart. They even have a fart tracker app. Help save the planet and stop climate change by tracking your farts. Always trust the science. Oh my God, they can go get themselves... Seriously? People should get onto this thing and just keep hitting it every minute. No, they shouldn't at all, because you're going to have to give all your details to them. Don't do that. Chart your fart, calling Aussies to track flatulence for science. They can go shove it up their rear ends. Put a plug in it. This public-led research campaign is recruiting citizen scientists to help researchers paint a better picture of gut health nationwide. No, thanks. Dear God. Professor Rogers speaks for the hard worker? I don't know. Huge breaking news. Well-respected political journalist reports that Labor MPs are saying Anthony Albanese just doesn't give a shit anymore about the Australian public. Australians have never suffered as much as now. Extra 10,000 Australians becoming homeless each month. That's each month, mind you. Up 22% in 3 years. Concerned Labor MP about the PM. He just doesn't look... He looks like he just doesn't give a shit anymore. Yeah, he doesn't. He never did.
We dined, indeed, at the lunch on some fantastic crayfish. And we dined, indeed, at the lunch on some fantastic crayfish.
Fuck off, I'm sure you did. Anthony Albanese buys a $4.3 million property. That's his new property, and he's also allowing a new road to be built all the way up to that property. Okay. Huge breaking news. Professor Roger speaks for the hard worker again. Said humanitarian catastrophe unfolding in Australia as 10,000 Australians become homeless each month. Anthony Albanese has destroyed Australia in just 3 years. Okay. Elon Musk has said some of the government software is over half a century old in the USA. What GAO found. In June 2019, GAO identified 10 critical federal IT legacy systems, i.e. systems that are outdated or obsolete, that were most in need of modernisation. These legacy systems provided vital support to agencies' missions. According to the agencies, these legacy systems range from about 8 to 51 years old and collectively cost about, we don't know. Well, it's going to cost you more. Is this how people are getting in and getting information? Are people hacking in there, or what's going on here? Okay, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, it's let's have a read of the comments. We'll find out. When I was in the NYPD Intelligence Division in 2010, we were using a program that was still on DOS operating system for counter-terrorism cases. Holy guacamole. Disgusting, said David Pilates. Rather than invest in infrastructure to support the mission, they waste money on what they say is foreign aid. Probably just bribes and retirement accounts. Proper systems would streamline the work and ensure accurate audits. Yeah, that's another thing. They don't want audits. No wonder the government operates at such slow speed. Yeah, look, it needs to be overhauled, seriously. Bricks News said Elon Musk and Italian Prime Minister Meloni. What do you notice? They get along very well by the look of it. Oh, look, she's looking at him with affection. By the look of it. Now she's telling him, I'm telling you. What's she saying? Oh, no, there's music. Okay. We won't play the music. Anyway, we'll just watch the little video. Wow, she's tiny, eh? Hopefully Italy does well. AJ Huber said just announced NYPD Chief of Detectives, a person who identified United Healthcare CEO assassin Luigi Mangione in Altoona, PA, was a McDonald's employee. He has 2 engineering degrees from Ivy League UPenn. Who does? He does. Oh. Okay. He also had a manifesto. When you hear the word manifesto, look, seriously, normal people don't do this stuff, right? At all. I don't know. Would you write a manifesto before you're about to lose the plot? No, I don't think so. Kyle Becker said, breaking, United Healthcare CEO suspected assassin identified as Luigi Mangione, 26-year-old Ivy League grad, self-described anti-capitalist, apprehended at PA McDonald's, possessed gun, fake IDs and manifesto. Searched online for Unabomber. Cousin is MD state delegate. Bit sus if you ask me. Antonio Mangione. And where is it? Annapolis? That's his cousin, is it? Yep, it's cousin. There you go. Shadow of Ezra said the murder suspect linked to the United Healthcare CEO has been identified as Luigi Mangione, a radical anti-capitalist climate activist and former Ivy League student who idolised the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski. Authorities discovered he was carrying a manifesto condemning the healthcare industry for prioritising profits over people, accompanied by calls for violence. Look, as much as I don't like big pharma either, right, or the healthcare industry for doing, I agree with him on that. But you don't go shooting people. You can't. It's got to be done the right way, mate. Let justice take its course. There's a tech-inspired former Ivy League student from Towson, Maryland, was apprehended Monday morning at McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, following a nationwide manhunt. Described as exceptionally smart, has valedictorian of his 2016 graduating class at the prestigious Gilman School in Baltimore. He was an accomplished soccer player and intended to study artificial intelligence, cognitive science, and computer science at the University of Pennsylvania. Sources report that Mangione was found with a manifesto that allegedly outlined grievances against the US healthcare industry. The document criticises profit over public welfare and accuses its ethical practices. Law enforcement officials suggest Mangione did not act alone, and his writings align with anti-capitalist, environmentalist, and anti-establishment ideologies. Well, you still have to let the law take its course. You can't just go out and shoot people. Sorry, but you can't. Okay. He uncovered his online activity, including interactions with anti-capitalist and climate change content, particularly unsettling to investigators, were his like quotes from notorious figures, including Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, whose writings condemn modern society and technology. His manifesto offers potential insight into his motivations. Investigators are still determining whether these ideological views directly influence him to commit the... so they're going to start like, okay, I get it. So anyone who goes against the government is going to be a potential... Yeah, I don't know. I think they're working up to that, though. But yeah, it says a lot for the universities too. Okay, so this sounds like, I don't know, it is so confusing that it sounds like they're going to use ideological views to start labelling people. I don't know, just keep your ears and eyes out. Yeah, great education system. Radicalised at UPenn. There you go. As Sergeant Mac 87 said, how do we know more about this guy already than the Trump assassin? Don Wick said, Internet, who is Luigi Mangione? This is all I found. He's an avid reader with 295 books listed on Goodreads. Academically, he holds both a master's and bachelor's degree in computer science. And he admired the... Hang on. He's a tech, right? And he admired the Unabomber who was against tech. Okay, it just doesn't make any sense. Okay, in computer science from the University of Pennsylvania. Additionally, he gained recognition as the valedictorian in Gilman School in Baltimore, showcasing his academic excellence. His work includes contributions to machine learning and robotics as evidenced by projects on GitHub. And this is the perfect person the CIA would recruit. Deep state plan for whatever reason, not sure. But this falls into similar shit they've done in the past. Maybe set him up some way because he was doing some job for them. Who knows? It all seems fake. That's why I say this sounds like, from what they've said, anti-establishment ideologies. That's what I'm seeing out of this whole thing. Okay, I'm sorry. That's what I'm seeing. They're going to try and label everyone as a terrorist who is against the government. Don Wick said, Internet, who is... yeah, I read that one. Okay. Government plan, he evades capture for a week just to be found at a McDonald's with everything needed to convict him in his backpack. Sure, totally. I already know this was a fake death witness protection scam. This is very concerning. If they are able to create these fake death plots and come up with fake killers, what guarantee is there they won't go after any American they choose? Yeah, don't fall for it, guys. I'm not believing it at all. Handy he was carrying that manifesto, huh? A week after he murdered the gun as well? The whole thing? Come on. Murders carry the perfect incriminating evidence all the time. Well, most people, when they're committing a crime, they actually don't carry ID. Well, a lot of people who commit crimes don't carry ID on them when they're doing it. Anyway, that's, not neither here nor there. And I learnt that off one of those police cam video things. So if I'm wrong, sorry about that, but it makes sense. So lefties are opposed to guns, but they're the ones shooting us in the streets and schools, in stores, in courtrooms, churches, synagogues, etc. Strange how the legacy press doesn't see the same pattern. Let's go back one more. Okay. Kelly, I see dumb people. Yeah, and you're not the only one, Kelly. Good morning, Australia. Dutton vow to use only the Australian flag will trigger the left. Flying the flag for unity. Dutton vows to make a stand for the Union Jack and Southern Cross if he's elected PM. Yeah. Can he not do it now? I believe, from what I'm hearing, he refuses to stand in front of the three flags. He wants just the Australian flag. I don't know, is this a desperate attempt to gain favour with the public? Also, they're trying to bring the mis- and disinformation bill under another name now. Mark, replying to the Vigilant Fox, said it's good to know that even in NYC, being a hero and good Samaritan is still legal. I agree with this NYC councilman. It's time for Alvin Bragg to resign in shame. This should never have gone to trial. Now we have BLM all riled up again looking for reasons to riot. And the response was to this. The Vigilant Fox said Judge Janine Pirro sets the record straight about Daniel Penny and Jordan Neely. What we have here are people demanding justice for Jordan Neely. Let's make one point. The truth is that Jordan Neely was on the list of New York City's most needy, homeless and mentally ill people in a city of 8 million. He's on a list of 50. He had open warrants for assaulting women on the subway. One senior woman in particular, he'd just broken her orbital bone, which is the bone around your eye. He had 42 arrests in 7 years. Where were these people trying to help Jordan Neely before? But Daniel Penny did what a lot of us would want someone to do if we were on that subway car. And I think that America breathes a sigh of relief today. America now recognises that we can protect other Americans and not be accused of being vigilantes, that we can be good Samaritans within the confines of the law. And if a jury in New York City can find Danny Penny not guilty, well, then I feel good about the rest of America, because Daniel Penny has been found innocent. Okay? New York City Councilman Joe Borelli, Staten Island, is calling for Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg to resign following the not guilty verdict in the Daniel Penny trial. The verdict in this case underscores nothing other than perverse sense of justice held by Alvin Bragg, Borelli said. Every New Yorker is fearful on the subway and had no problem understanding the context of Daniel Penny's actions. The district attorney should resign in shame. And they should. Now get this one from Australia. Council rate scam. Can some explain to me why the cost to collect our rubbish is determined by the value of our home? Why does it cost less to collect the same volume of rubbish from lesser priced areas that use the same trucks to collect it and the same tip to dump it? They do that with all their council rates. It depends on the area you live in as to how much rates you pay per year. If you're in a affluent area, you pay more. It's quite interesting. Why? It's a good question. Darren of Plymouth said they will try and hide Arla products and everything, then lie about it. Children of men. Just checked my milk from Aldi, used a pencil to highlight what's hidden on the bottom. I'm fucking fuming and I've retrieved my receipt out of the bin and they're going back tomorrow, the sly fuckers. Look. Arla. It's stamped underneath. She had to rub a pencil over it to make it highlight. She, he? Not sure. Oh, Soldier said, Albo, today I didn't play tennis. Does he know photos? It's just lying flat out to the public, and photos exist of him playing tennis on the day he said he didn't. I don't know what the hell that's about, but anyway. Yeah, stop fucking lying. Fucking liar. Okay, so Albo, I did play tennis, but it was a different time of the day than when I was supposed to be at a meeting. Okay, now I see what's going on. He was supposed to be at a meeting and he skipped it to go and play tennis. That's our Prime Minister for you. Matthew Kamanzuli said, here we go again. The greatest stroke of deceit. It appears a horrendously unpopular and grossly misleading misinformation bill is being rebirthed. Like a stolen sports car, they're scraping off the serial numbers and giving it a new name. No, hard no, go away. Anthony Scalise said, fellow Aussies, please spread the word that the misinformation bill has been sneakily reintroduced by the un-Australian government under a new name. The Digital Duty of Care Bill. We will fight. Zoe Daniel, can we kick her out? Seriously. Oh, dear God. They just keep going, don't they? Okay, Tommy Robinson said admin post. RP Richard Holden is putting forward legislation in Parliament this week to ban first cousin marriages in the UK. First cousin marriages are statistically only rife in one community. Can you guess which one? The same community rife in gang raping children across the UK. Watch them cry Islamophobia at this legislation too. Okay. This week I'm introducing legislation to the House of Commons that would end first cousin marriage, i.e. when you share a set of grandparents. Oh, dear God. Eagle-eyed DP Williamson at Daily Express has spouted it in the Order paper and written up the story. In the last Parliament, working with these people and others, I brought forward legislation to ban the so-called virginity testing and hymenoplasty, which were introduced as a private member's bill, then as amendments to the Health and Care Bill and eventually accepted by the government, and introduced as government amendments after work by myself in the Commons. And what? Who's doing the so-called virginity testing? What the hell? I hope the new government back my proposed legislation in this area. Express your, yeah. Ban it. I'm not even freaking English. Countries like Norway have banned it alongside several US states. Sweden and Denmark are also currently looking into legislation to do the same. Australia should have a look at this too. Ew. Seriously. Ew. Oh, make it go away. Someone make it go away. Rep Marjorie Taylor Greene. Sorry, I'm yawning here. And having a big stretch. It's good for you, apparently. As far as P. Diddy and now Jay-Z being accused of raping children, I personally believe pedos should receive the death penalty if found guilty. Hear, hear. You rape a child, you drug and forcefully rape a child, you traffic children and sell them for sex, you should face the most severe consequences. The entertainment industry's sick methods of making stars needs to end immediately, and America's child sex trafficking industry must be abolished. Yeah, I support public execution of pedos, rapists and career criminals. Elon Musk said our tax dollars are somehow funding both sides again. Wall Street Maverick said, which armed group won the war in Syria? The one backed by the CIA or the one backed by the Pentagon? Or was it the group backed by Saudi Arabia or was it ISIS? I'm so confused. In Syria, militias armed by the Pentagon fight those armed by the CIA. And then we go to war over this shit. By the way, I think Assad's been pushed out of there by all this going on. Alexandria Marshall said as we come toward the end of the year, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who creates content, shares content, and raises their voice in the name of freedom. Remember, politicians are afraid of you. They are afraid of bad press and social media outrage. Your voices keep the bastards honest. Never stop. 3 years every day between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. we raise our umbrellas in the name of freedom. Screw you, McGowan, Cook and Governor, Convid Commander. Yep. Yeah, they're scared of this happening. Stop, you're all under arrest. Yeah, they can't do it, see? Hang on, I have to like that one because I read it. And this one. And you too, Alexandria Marshall. American as fuck said just in. Time magazine is reportedly considering naming Kamala Harris as Person of the Year. Why is she not a female? Why is it Person of the Year? Why isn't it Man of the Year and Woman of the Year? And why that person? Oh, what has she actually done? Come on now. Come on now. Yeah, right. Timbo said, rumour has it Chalmers' allies are working on a coup to roll Albo in the early new year. Labor spill. Yeah, I don't know if Chalmers is going to be any better though, will he? Dear God, the lot of them, they're all friggin' hopeless. Not Jerome Powell said the White House, we're unable to track $6.2 billion sent to Ukraine. California, we're unable to track $24 billion spent to combat homelessness. The Pentagon, we're unable to track $2.3 trillion of military spending. The US Treasury, we're unable to track $5 trillion of pandemic spending. The IRS, we know you sent $601.57 to your friend. You better report it or you're going to jail. There's a lot of material for Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy at Doge for sure. What are your thoughts? And now you know why they were A, scared Trump would be elected, and B, want to maintain that financial power, and C, were neither surprised nor shaken by the assassination attempts on Trump. Just be safe, please. Yeah, the DOD, we're unable to track and identify multiple unidentified flying drones over New Jersey, VA and NY for the last 3 weeks. You're on your own. Oh, yeah, I did like that one. What's this in response to? Is it the computers being over 50 or the technology being 50 years old, or is it mind-blowing US GAO, the GAO report? Yeah, the systems. Okay. They cost about $337 million annually to operate and maintain. Several of the systems use older languages such as Common Business Orientated Language, COBOL. GAO has previously reported that reliance on such language has risks, such a rise in procurement and operating costs and a decrease in the availability of individuals with the proper skill sets. Further, several of the legacy systems were operating with known security vulnerabilities and unsupported hardware and software. Like I said, wasn't done on purpose, was it, to let people into the information? Matthew Camanzuli said, I've been thinking about what I just witnessed on the ABC 7:30 report. Nobody, not the Minister Chris Bowen or Ted O'Brien or the opposition or Sarah Ferguson of the ABC, talked about the fact that we're exporting our energy resources and buying them back for more. No, they'll go, climate change, climate change, climate change. Meanwhile, everyone else in the world is allowed to use all of our power resources, but not us. And we're buying them back from them for more. Why? That we're not generating enough cheap power to keep the country going through stable sources. It's as if nobody cares about this country. They're all trying to please somebody other than the Australian people. Something really has to give. It really was a disgraceful interview all round. Little bozo Wen trying to suck up to Sarah or whatever her name is and the Liberal guy. Why not just do the interview in a week when your figures are public? CSIRO are a bunch of corrupt scientists. The whole thing's a joke. And Australians are the punchline and the punching line of pugilistic politicians. Yep, I've had enough. Senator Babat said foreigners shouldn't own a single acre of Australian agricultural land. This shouldn't be a controversial opinion. Exactly. Same as every other country. You shouldn't have foreigners owning your land. Your people should own your land. Your people should own your land. Okay, anyway, Tristan Tate said the yacht I ordered has a steel hull because I want to explore Antarctica. Let's see how far he gets. I want to see how far that goes. The opinionated black woman auntie said comes into force. Yeah, nah, it'll be hacked within 6 months. Australia's digital ID comes into force. No, thank you. If people started booing at the Welcome to Country ceremonies, you'd be amazed at how fast they'll bring an end to them. You know what? Don't boo them, just stand up and start singing the Australian anthem. Everyone should be doing it. When you get Welcome to Country at a football game, you should stand up and start singing, Australians, oh, let us rejoice. That should be what happens. Keep doing it. Every Welcome to Country you see. Sam Newman is right. Slow clap, turn your back, sing a song in unison to drown out the bullshit. Yeah, the national anthem would be good. Power to the people. Better still, vote with your feet. Big corps are money-hungry bastards. Hit them where it hurts. Don't go. See, people are still doing the bread and circuses thing. Yeah, we'll watch footy. Yeah, we'll sit there and watch cricket. And yeah. It's a distraction. Astute Actual said, so Trump is currently in France too, among other things, I'm sure, visiting the recently restored Notre Dame, but Trump Force One is sitting on the ground in WPB, Florida. How did Trump get to France, and why is no one talking about it? Huh. Interesting. Didn't know. Thank you for that, Astute Actual. Well done. Good point. What did he take off in, a UFO? I guess we'll find out eventually. Armando Pantoja, I hope I said that right. Breaking. Exchanges are shutting down XRP long positions on their derivative markets. What are they trying to keep us from seeing? Something big is definitely brewing with XRP. They have temporarily suspended trading for XRP. Wow. Something's going on. Don't sell it. Don't do anything, okay? Just sit. If you've got it, sit. Market manipulation or stability concerns. Exchanges might be taking these actions to manage risk or prevent potential market manipulation. This could be due to high volatility or stabilise the market if there's an expectation of significant price movements. Regulatory or legal concerns. Given XRP's history with legal challenges, particularly the SEC lawsuit against Ripple Labs, exchanges might be cautious about offering leveraged products on XRP due to potential regulatory scrutiny or charges in the legal status of XRP. Liquidity issues. There could be an issue with liquidity for XRP on these platforms. If a large portion of the supply is locked up or if there is a sudden demand increase, exchanges might limit long positions to manage the available supply more effectively. Anticipation of major news or events. The restriction could indicate that exchanges are aware of upcoming news or events like regulatory decisions, partnerships, or significant updates from Ripple Labs that could dramatically affect XRP's price. By limiting long positions, they might be attempting to mitigate the impact of such news on their platforms. Technical or operational reasons. This could also be due to technical issues or operational decisions by the exchanges, perhaps related to maintenance, updates to their trading systems, or adjustment in risk management policies. It's crucial to understand that without direct confirmation from the exchanges, these are speculative interpretations based on common practices and the current context around XRP. The cryptocurrency community often speculates on such actions, but the true motivations might only be known to the exchanges themselves. The sentiment from posts found on X suggested that some in the community believe this could be a precursor to a significant event or price movement, though such claims should be treated with caution. Yeah, because it's speculative. So we'll see. Okay, you can buy it on Coinbase. In other words, if there's a chance to make good money, that's why you trade and use leverage, they shut it down. I would wait, because XRP just got taken to court with the SEC. We know the government are corrupt. We know the financial markets are corrupt. I'd just hang in there. In fact, hang on. I'll just check. Okay, well, it's on its way down at the moment, but don't fret. You've got to ride these things out. I can still buy it, so there you go. Alexandra Marshall said, a reminder that all the rich teals, you know, the ones who lied about the climate to get themselves into power, are about to head off on a holiday, no doubt by flying across the world to stay in expensive hotels, eating meat, drinking wine and buying things. Their carbon footprint in the next month will be bigger than most of us manage in a year. Then they'll come back to Parliament and pretend that cows are killing the climate. That's how they work. That's how they roll. Wake Up America says, Zelensky says America will lose NATO and global leadership role if it stops funding the war in Ukraine. What's your message to Zelensky? Well, on behalf of Americans from here in Australia, go fuck yourself, Zelensky. And NATO, by that. Seriously, both of you can go jump. I'm sure most Americans will agree with me, or the ones that are awake anyway. Matthew Kamanzuli said we've been misspelling the word justice for years. It should be spelt just us. It appears that your ability to face investigation, prosecution and penalty depends entirely on your position in the world. It can also depend on who you're upsetting or challenging. In the modern era, justice seems to be an alien principle that only applies to the people of the tax base, the hard-working and generally honest. If any of us step out of line in even minor ways, we are shouted down, ridiculed, harassed and harangued. We face the courts and are dealt with harshly. A dispassionate camera invading the privacy of your car catches a glimpse of you answering an important call on your phone as you are stopped at the lights. That's 5 points and hundreds of dollars gone in fines. For the son of a former New South Wales opposition leader found to be a mega drug kingpin, it's a slap on the wrist. If you park your car for too long in a metered spot, you get hundreds of dollars in fines. But Hunter Biden is involved in filth and global corruption and is pardoned by his father, whoever really was the big guy. Gladys Berejiklian is found to be seriously corrupt by ICAC, challenges it in the courts, and they upheld that she was seriously corrupt, yet walks around as a senior executive in Optus. No consequences whatsoever. Anthony Kalouf of Oz vs. The Agenda gets an 8-month sentence, serving 3 months in Long Bay Jail, Supermax prison, for breaches to COVID restrictions, many of which have now been found to be unlawful. That didn't stop them at the time. Disgusting. Ministers and leaders engage in dodgy practices all the time. They're rewarded with big jobs at home and abroad by the people who are above the law. They are the just us, metering out the justice. The system only works when we can believe in the system itself. Right now, I have no faith in it at all. Petty nothing is beaten up and people's lives are ruined as they lose their driver's licences and worse, for no good reason. The big end of town commits all sorts of real crimes against the people and laugh at us from their next big job. The system is not just disgusting, it's obviously so. Either make justice equal or forget the concept and go back to the law of the jungle. There's no third option. It'll happen by itself if we don't intervene. That much is obvious. It's exhausting. It's time we got Australia back. Ex-New South Wales Liberal leader Kerry Chakarovsky's son has walked free after being sentenced for dark web drug supply. Unbelievable. Disgusting. They're all disgusting. They don't even deserve to be spat on. Which, by the way, is assault. But they don't deserve it. Don't ever do that to anyone. They don't deserve it. Wall Street Maverick, especially if they're on fire. Wall Street Maverick said Syria's capital city Damascus has fallen to rebels and Syrian President Assad has reportedly fled to Tehran, Iran. I suspect in the chaos to come that millions of Syrians will flood into Europe to claim refugee status. This will further accelerate the demise of European culture as the natives are replaced. Wall Street Maverick said it's amazing that most Muslim countries refuse to accept any Muslim refugees. Turkey is really the only country and they had to be bribed with billions of euros to accept them. Yeah, no more. No more. Shadow of Ezra said the IDF or another entity might have brought down Bashar al-Assad's aircraft, which vanished from radar after an abrupt turn and erratic movements. Reports suggest the plane may have crashed. I don't know. The Israel War Room shared a cryptic message reminiscent of their response to the Iranian president's helicopter crash earlier this year. Syria is now controlled by the same people who killed Muammar Gaddafi. So would that be the FBI and the CIA fighting each other over there? Or funding something? I'm asking. Oh, here we go. Tesla Energy. Unlike generators, Powerwall requires no refueling or oil checks. What is this? Tesla. Power. I'm interested. How much? Oh, my God. I don't know about that. I'd probably have to put my address and everything in there. I don't even know if they got it here in Australia. Reduce your electricity bill. Can I just not get rid of it at all? Home charging. Oh, God, hang on. Huh. Okay, well, there you go. Tesla's got some new power thing going on. Hustle Bitch said, what is Chuck Schumer's wife's name? Oh, dear God. Brian? Tom? Dick or Harry? Tom, Dick or Harry, mate. One of the, I don't know, but that, yeah, something going on there. Not very womanly. Such a handsome woman. Not even. Elon Musk said the federal government computers and software are in such bad shape they often cannot verify that payments are not fraud, waste or abuse. There you go. That's why the government can't pass basic audits. They've often literally don't know where your tax dollars went. It's insane. My preferred title in the new administration is volunteer IT consultant. Need to fix the IT infrastructure in order to make the government work. This is a grind and hardly glorious, but we can't make government efficient and fix the deficit unless the computers don't work. Wow. That's insane. Elon Musk asked what's wrong with Germany. Libs of TikTok said Germany is holding a young American woman hostage and threatening her with 10 years in prison after she stabbed a migrant who sexually assaulted her. She accidentally stabbed him. Okay, let me see if I can get around this one. Larry Cook said, there's reports from 1997 and 2013 about certain injuries from a certain procedure. Imagine how many more went unreported. Imagine now there's a code of ethics among medical examiners to never test for certain procedures as a potential cause. Imagine how many paediatricians are told that the babies they gave certain procedures to died, but they kept doing it. 79.4% of babies who die of SIDS had a procedure the same day. Allegedly. Go see your doctor while I'm shaking my head no. Stephen said E-Safety Commissar issues new fatwa. Images showing no changes in sea levels over the past 50 years are now banned. Oh, she's an idiot. She shouldn't be charged of anything in Australia. She's not Australian, sorry. Matt Wallace said rumours are circulating about which A-list celebrities participated in the painful gang rape of Anna Kane on Diddy's tape when she was 17 years old. Jeez. Maverick X said, what was that? What's what? Oh, it's a man. Looks like one anyway. Who is that? Does anyone know who that is? Hang on. Yep. That's a man, baby. Franks and beans. Yep. Yep, exactly. There you go. Yeah, yep. Hey, when it went up, you could see the little peep in the shorts. Alexandra Marshall said, I'll never understand why the Healthy Environment First crowd are the first to support adding chemicals and additives to cattle to make them fart less, despite knowing very little about what this will do to the animals in our food. We're getting sick, and we're getting sick because huge chemical and biotech companies are making a fortune from our food. Then Big Pharma comes in and earns a fortune from our poor health. It's a nightmare. It's a circle. They want it. It's deliberate, let me tell you. Anyway, Miss Smudge said at 6 a.m. Sunday morning, and I'm watching Skippy the bush kangaroo. I'm overwhelmed with nostalgia and the pure Australianness was of it. I never knew you could be homesick for a long time ago. I am too, seriously. But it's never going to be the same again. It'll be better. Royal Intel said, Dear Americans, your government is lying to you. This is the president of Syria, Bashar al-Assad, alongside his wife and children. He's not a murderer. He's not a criminal. He's not a tyrant. No, just the FBI and the CIA overthrowing another country. Terrorists are being backed by your government to overthrow this man due to his support for the Palestinian cause. If he falls, Syria will be turned into a rogue terrorist state. Christianity will cease to exist in Syria. It's time to wake up. Okay, they're trying to look. That's what they do. Who was the guy who said he was in the army? He went to the general, whoever, and they were saying, or he was a general himself. They wanted to overthrow 7 countries in 5 years, and Syria was one of them. Charlie Kirk said Canada's Justin Trudeau has an approval rating of barely 25%. He's going to get destroyed in next year's election. So right now, his government just unilaterally banned hundreds of types of firearms, meaning their owners must immediately surrender them to the government. Then to make sure they can't ever be returned if Conservatives win next year, his government plans to ship the guns to Ukraine. Clearly, Trudeau thinks that guns can be used to protect Ukraine's freedom. So what does it say that he wants those guns gone from Canada? Don't do it, guys. Don't. Now we've got Shania Twain. American as fuck said Shania Twain is nearly 60 years old performing in her underwear. Thoughts? Get out of here. Why are all these old women... They've got no class. That's not classy at all, right? It's not. No class, no modesty, no nothing. Bro said, we're never going to have our old Australia back. I've resigned myself to this. Elon Musk said, whatever happens, don't let it ruin your day. Some good sayings in there. Yeah, don't let it ruin your day, no matter what. Look, I'm even laughing at it because, like, 1 minute I might be cranky at it and the next minute I'm okay because I know we're watching a movie. Don't worry about that. So Australia rich in natural resources, yet we do not make commercial aircraft. We can't make cars. We can't make car tyres. We can't make computers or mobile phones. We can't make refrigerators. We cannot make light bulbs. We cannot make razor blades. We cannot even make printer paper. Yet we pay traitorous politicians millions of dollars to destroy our once great country. Frogs on Mars said the Lima Declaration, signed by Labor in 1972, decimated Australian manufacturing and agriculture. The grand plan was to send 30% of Australian manufacturing jobs over to places like China and Vietnam, and it ended up closer to 70%, and now everything's made there. What was that one about a pothole? Once we had people with common sense, now we have experts. To fill a pothole in front of my house, 2 traffic wardens with stop-go signs, 50 bollards, 3 trucks, 9 staff in high-vis, and it took half a day. Once old George with a wheelbarrow and dressed in shorts and singlet 5 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, unions of thugs have raped the country to a point where it's strangled in corruption. Corporate greed has prevented us from being able to do anything competitive. And there we go. No, we don't need to see that person's face again. I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. I'll be doing videos throughout the week. I'll need to have a day or 2 off again. Like I said, I had yesterday off because I just was hopeless. I had a headache all day, was laying in bed or moaning for most of it. You didn't want to hear that, believe me. So, yeah, I'll be having a day or 2 off this week by when my granddaughter comes up to visit. And but I'll keep going until then. I don't know what day, probably towards the end of the week I'll be doing that. And I'll continue making videos until then. Okay, guys, I hope you have a good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.